Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Argos, ZeNex, and TSL Trickster here on Typhon Peaks, or Typhoon Peaks. I don't quite have the name of the map right in front of me, so I may be completely mispronouncing it. Anyways, we have Trickster spawning as the red Protoss player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Argos, ZeNex spawning on the top right-hand side of the map as the blue Zerg. Now, a couple of you guys who are very observant will notice that this is now the 2000th video that I have posted up on my channel. I wasn't even aware of it until you guys told me. And the reason why is I actually have about 50 to 75 videos that are private, so I didn't even realize I reached this milestone. We now see a probe making its way out, and now we'll be scouting in the clockwise direction. One of the things I wanted to do was I was trying to figure out, is there anything special that I could possibly do for, anything I can possibly, special that I could possibly do for my 2000th video. And I was, just going over it in my mind, and I thought, why do anything different? Why don't I just continue to do what I've been doing for the past year and a half that's made me so popular, the reasons why you come to my channel. I'm not talking about a story of Daisy the Drone, but just giving you a nice high quality shoutcast and replay. I am working on some other things, but it's very difficult to try to time it in addition to a 2000th video. And really, I think my real milestone that I'm really looking forward to is when I will actually have to use 4 digits in trying to describe all of my SC2 videos. So currently at I think what, SC600 something, and we'll see when it gets even higher. Argos has now opted to go for an extractor and spawning pool. The extractor not coming down first though, about the same time, so he is not going to have enough gas in order to get that metabolic boost. Back down over here, we now have a forge expansion, so we have one pylon here, one pylon here. And I like the building placement here by Trickster. What this will allow him to do is it will make it so that the wall-in is even more effective by placing one pylon here, one pylon, and then the forge here. He can finish off this wall, and then I believe with this nexus, he may have actually created a really decent wall here. The only way to really get in is through this center location, and if he places down a gateway here, a photon cannon, he will be able to get a very strong economy going here on the map. Protoss actually expanding faster than Zerg, and this is something that you rarely ever see. He is slowing down his probe production, but he may start to chrono boost in just a moment. Yeah, there we go. Now starting to get that chrono boost as well. He wants to be able to double queue up probes and make sure to not waste any chrono boost, as some Zerglings now are on the move. The Zerglings looking to get some damage. There is one gateway here and now one photon cannon there, and we'll see if this photon cannon can hold back the rush. Zerglings now trying to come in, trying to give chase. The probe able to escape at 5 hit points, and the Zerglings may try to run around the whole entire backside and try to get some damage. Now getting some damage onto this Nexus, but I believe this one photon cannon, just within combat range. Zergling taking some damage and then canceled. Is he going to lose this probe? No. Perhaps reposition it a little bit closer, a fraction, one unit space closer, and this one photon cannon will be able to push back. And now Argos is going to have to come back from this economic early rush that Trickster was able to go for. He is transferring some probes now down to the low ground. Taking a look at the harvester count, 23 harvesters for Trickster. Argos now sitting at only 18, and Trickster is getting double gas now, so he is a little bit behind on minerals, but he is getting an infinite amount more gas infinite percentage, only 240 more gas a minute, as those one probe coming around on the inside, trying to see how much he can really scout out. The metabolic boost now being researched, and a lot of Zerglings were hiding over here. Nicely done. So now Argos is going to perhaps move out with a lot of Zerglings, looking as though there isn't that much inside the base. The Zerglings will be able to come around this backside in just a moment and get a lot of harassment in, and that is going to be absolutely critical if he tries to slow down this particular location here, or tries to stop the mining out of this location. The Zerglings now running along the backside, and now the probes being forced to pull back, realizing that they can't do very much at all, but the probes are currently holding position by the photon cannon. 2 photon cannons, 1 round of attack each can destroy them. So the Zerglings now just simply laying in wait. Are we going to get a Baneling's Nest? No, it doesn't look like it, as the Zerglings now come in, and there's that pylon preventing, and now a force field as well. A sentry stuck in that pocket location there. That one photon cannon with a force field, and then a pylon blocking it, making it so that the units cannot run up that ramp. That pylon has been shut down. The probes now trying to wander around even further, getting some more probe kills, as there are now 3 Zerglings on the inside of this base. We may get some units warped in just a moment, as another couple photon cannons are being warped in. Losses wise, about even so far, as the probes are unable to do very much at all. The Zerglings now just trying to go after those probes. It doesn't look like the probes or the Zerglings going to be able to finish off any more of those probes, as that Zergling now gets taken down. But the Zerglings are still filing through, trying to get as much damage as possible. And with this number of Zerglings, the probes are going to have to come back and try to fight against them. And now the 1 sentry has been taken down, the major and DPS. But I believe enough probes are still there. There are a lot of low hit point units, and that last Zergling is going to get swarmed and taken down once again. We are getting 3 more photon cannons. Zerglings trying to hide around that backside, perhaps getting some more damage continually. And this is a very heavy investment into Zerglings. Unit-wise, 18 drones compared to 28 probes. And as long as those Zerglings are able to shut down some of those probes and perhaps stop the mining, it will be effective. But now those Zerglings are deciding to pull back, and oh, Sentry traded for a last 2 Zerglings there. Nice trade. And now what exactly will happen with Trickster? Trickster now getting some additional gateways. There are still more Zerglings hanging around over here. A lot of low hit point probes now being transferred back. There are 3 photon cannons and a couple sentries and another gateway. So this is all a very, very tight positioning, as a photon cannon now being warped in here. The Zerglings continue to wander around, getting as much damage as possible. The sentry getting a force field, but unable to get very much more. And oh, another force field there. That sentry has been the hero of this battle so far. 8 kills, and probably stopped a lot of Zerglings from being able to come in. We are now getting another sentry being warped in here, as the warp gate has that chrono boost in order to try to speed up that cooldown. This 1 sentry may get into a little bit of a problem, may get another force field down, but there are photon cannons within range. Probes just wandering back and forth. That 1 sentry trying to get as many kills as possible. And now we are seeing some power droning coming in from Argos. Unit-wise, 34 compared to 30, and now Trickster unable to get any serious mining done. Taking a look at the harvest, or the mining, yeah, 1200 versus 700, and somehow Argos has taken the lead in the economic game, just wrenching it back, even though he was behind and trained up a lot of Zerglings for a decent amount of time. So this is going to transition now, and Argos has to feel very comfortable at the state of the game he is currently in. He is now trying to take down these rocks over here. He still needs to take down these rocks over here if he wants to continue that push, but he is in a very, very safe situation. He has the stronger economy going in, has more harvesters, getting more gas, and should be able to ride the rest of this economic push. But we now also have a Twilight Council. And are we going to get a Dark Shrine? Yes, a Dark Shrine is now being warped in here. We are currently sitting at tier 2, yes. So I do not think the Dark Shrine is going to deal all that much. Overseers are very, very easy to train and deploy to the field as a Zerg player, and just very early detection. I do not think that Trickster knows what exactly Argos has in store. We now also see that 1 Overlord just continuing to fly in now. No movement speed upgrade. You may wonder why Argos didn't opt to go for the movement speed upgrade. He didn't go for it because he doesn't want to reveal to his opponent that he is actually at tier 2. By doing that, Argos is probably hoping that after seeing that there is a Dark Shrine, that his opponent invests too much. He does see the Twilight Council now getting blinked, and he also sees the additional gateway, so he knows there's going to be a lot of gateway units. We'll see how he decides to respond. We are getting some roaches, burrow, and the glial reconstitution movement, and another hatchery needs to be placed down here. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind. Now Zergling's deciding to just poke apart this location here, and this is going to be much more difficult for Argos for Trickster to try to defend and ward off any of the attacks. The roaches are now making their way in. There is that 1 Dark Templar here, but I do not see a Zerg Overseer anywhere nearby. Roaches now quickly going in after those sentries. 1 sentry now down, a 2nd sentry now down. The Dark Templars most likely are. He can hear them coming, and now what happened to these roaches? The roaches are now burrowing. So burrowed roaches making it very difficult for the Dark Templar to get any serious damage at all. And now Argos ZeNex needs to get a detection very, very quickly. Otherwise, those Dark Templars may get a lot of damage. And Roaches now quickly coming in, just trying to funnel their way in, getting a lot of damage here as the Roaches getting some damage onto the Photon Cannons. Down it goes. And now playing Whack-A-Mole. Those Roaches are currently, can just burrow themselves if they are low on hit points. There you go, getting a burrow. And perhaps, yes, Argos getting getting more of those Roaches back up. And now perhaps he should leave those 2 low hit point Roaches there. As do we have an Overseer? I do not see an Overseer or any dead drones just quite yet. We are getting the Hydralisk Den and Groove Spines upgrade as another Nexus has been warped in here, and now the Roaches are just trying to continue to push their way through. No Observer. So Argos abusing the fact that there is no observer, no detection nearby, and it is allowing him to stop the mining off of this particular set of mineral patches. The Roaches now scampering about, running away. The Stalkers do have blink, so they will be able to zero in on that distance in just a moment. Stalkers continuing to give chase. Zerglings now coming over here. This Nexus may get sniped down. There is a lot of damage to be had on a Nexus. Nexus can absorb 2,000 points of damage. Now a Dark Templar being warped in over here, but this Nexus will quickly get destroyed. Down it goes, and now burrowed once again. So Argos ZeNex just constantly burrowing. There is this one Dark Templar here. That Dark Templar does deal 50 damage per attack, but it attacks rather slowly. I still do not see an Overseer anywhere nearby. There is an Overlord here, so that can quickly change as the Roaches are just regenerating those hit points, and now we finally are getting an Observer out. The Observer looks like it is being chrono boosted based upon the timing of the build, and as soon as that Observer is out, the Dark Templar should be able to have its way with these units. Level 2 weapons upgrade on the Dark Templar, so 55 damage per attack, 3 attacks in order to shut down a Roach. But the Roach with Tunneling Claws generates 3 hit points in attack, and now that Dark Templar will be able to snipe that down, and the Dark Templar is trying to get some more hits but unable to do so. The Roach is now trying to move out, and the Tunneling Claw research has been completed, and now moving away as soon as the Observer has been detected. The Stalker is able to blink back, but this is going to be a problem as now Zerglings and Hydralisk coming in from behind as well. These Stalkers, and those Stalkers are just chasing after those units here, as the Zerglings are going to be able to perhaps flank these units here, and now Hydralisk and Roaches continuing to push out. There is also an Overseer here, as well as the Roaches have been able to regenerate a lot of hit points. Stalkers have nowhere to blink to. They need to blink up onto that high ground. There you go. And now Trickster trying to be tricky with Stalkers, unable to do so so far, as now we have Photon Cannons just in the front of the position. They are the natural detectors. There is one Observer in the air as the Hydralisk and Roaches are now battling it out army-wise. Argos ZeNex just completely dominating with almost triple the army now, but there is some stationary defense with these Photon Cannons making it difficult. Hydralisks are continuing to battle it here. Stalkers are trying to blink away, able to do so, but I believe those Hydralisks that with the 1-0 upgrades are dealing a lot more damage than the Stalkers with 2-1 upgrades. 2 Overseers now offering protection. The Roaches now once again reburrowing, regenerating all of those hit points. There is one Observer in the air. More Stalkers now coming in once again as the Roaches are continuing to battle it out. Hydralisk and Roaches, both sides just getting as much damage as possible. The Roaches of Argos ZeNex, however, are going to take a lot of damage as those Stalkers are being very smart. Those low hit point Stalkers blinking to the back. A lot of low hit point Stalkers as this battle continues. More Roaches trying to funnel back in, and now with Trickster with 5 to 7, is that, yeah, about 5 low hit point Stalkers off of blink. Very, very smart play there. Another beautiful blink. Both sides trying to see who can be the better at trading armies, and Trickster is now currently better at trading armies and now has taken the lead once again, as those Stalkers are going to be able to pick off multiple units. Overseer trying to get back onto that high ledge. There are a couple of Roaches and Hydralisks hiding out right there. Where is the Observer? I do not see it, as more Stalkers now being warped in. We are running off of 3 bases for Argos, and now training up more Roaches and Zerglings as well. Back over here, I believe the Hydralisks and Roaches have now been able to scamper away. Perhaps this creep highway will get reestablished in just a moment, as the Overseers are still on the move, looking to see if another expansion has been placed down. Trickster still needs to get an expansion right here, otherwise he's going to fall behind economically. It is now finally being warped into play, but income-wise, 46 Harvesters compared to 47. Argos now still power droning and getting an even stronger economic advantage. Overseers positioned here and here as well. We can see the 7 Hydralisks and the level 2 weapons upgrade for the missile attack, and currently nearing completion, about another 40 or 30 seconds or so. So 30 seconds, actually only 20 game seconds, or 20 real seconds, so 30 game seconds, about 20 real seconds. And those Roaches are going to be able to deal 20 damage per attack. Hydralisk dealing 14, and Hydralisk with that very, very fast attack rate should be able to eat through many of those Stalkers. I still do not see any additional upgrades coming in from Trickster, as Trickster is moving around with those stalkers. As long as he does a really smart job, there is one changeling walking out of position there, quickly gets destroyed as probes are now being transferred to this location. I think they're going to do some long distance mining. This one nexus is nowhere near to be completed just quite yet, but after one return, they will be able to return minerals back to this nexus now. Army on the move. Roaches moving very quickly. Hydralisk moving quickly as well on creep. The Roaches are upgraded 2-0. Hydralisk upgraded 2-0 as well. And now the Roaches and Hydralisk are battling it out. The Roaches trying to give chase, able to do so. The Stalkers should just try to blink away. And now where are those force fields that try to split up the army? There you go. One more force field would have been enough, but no, Argos now filing through that one opening there, and both sides are still battling it out. There is an Overseer in the group as well. Overseer quickly sniped down though. So Dark Templars would still be very effective as the Roaches and Hydralisk try to battle it out. Army-wise, 31-25 versus 25-25. Amazing Stalker blinks now by Trickster, but still not enough. The sheer army size of Argos ZeNex is helping him carry it through the rest of the game, and there's the GG. So Trickster losing to Argos here in what I will call a Stalker Blink battle against Roaches and Hydralisk. Argos opening up with a very aggressive Zerg play, opting to not power drone and instead go for a lot of Zerglings and make his opponent pay for trying to expand that early. By expanding that early, he did not have a large enough army to fend off the attack. Also, the cannon placement is very difficult to try to guard both your main base and your natural expansion. The expansion a little bit out of the way, especially when the Zerglings were just running along this backside, continuing to poke. As soon as the Zerglings were able to get a little bit of an advantage and delay the probes, you can see that Argos then transitioned into mass drones, power droning, training up 8 drones at a time at one point, and then quickly taking the economic lead and riding that the rest of the way. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Argos ZeNex and TSL's Trickster.